Let's take a quick look at a quick game called Palm Laboratory. This game is 15 minutes, it's a single player game, and it's all played in the palm of your hand. It's a portable game, so it doesn't require a table. In this game, you're a mad scientist, and you're going to be taking on different missions trying to survive without your lab exploding as you conduct your experiments. Inside, we have a rule book. It's got this nice tin that's portable, can put it in your pocket. Then there are cards inside that make up the main components of the game. And you're going to take these with you wherever you're going to play the game. All right, we've got 16 cards here to start. This is the core deck. You're going to use that in every mission you play. A danger meter that's going to increase as the danger grows, and that's what will end up resulting in your loss of the game. So you want to keep this low. Then there are 3 Minion cards. They help change the difficulty. There is 3 different missions in this game. There's a production, a research, and then a experiment mission that you can take on. So we're going to just do a quick look at the production mission. And we're going to go ahead and grab the danger meter and whatever minions we want to have in here. And so we'll make it real easy, put all of the minions. Then we take the core deck and put it in front of that. Now you can shuffle this up, but it does come in a starting setup that works pretty well, just following the numbers. When you set up the deck, you want to make sure all of the cards have this little icon in the top left corner. The missions and the danger meter, they all have their own letters, but the core deck has numbers 1 through 16. You can put them in the same order, or you can shuffle it up for some variability. All right, now in the game, these cards are 4-sided. They got a top and a bottom, but they got a front and a back too. So they have 4 different sections. You're going to be rotating and flipping these cards throughout the game to upgrade them or store them to be able to gain your resources. So we're going to take a quick look at how it works. Throughout the game, I can interact with both the first and the second card in the deck. Again, I only care about these top sections as they're the ones that are the active sections. There are multiple symbols on these, and also some cards have resources. This card here we're going to take a look at, and I can take any of the actions I can afford to pay for. So currently I have no resources stored, so I can't take any of these actions that cost something. But we're going to go through them just so you know how they work. The green action is a store action. That puts the card back here, and anytime I take an action, always going to go to the back of the deck. Now I have a gear stored, and I can spend that on a card in the future. If I were to take this flip action, I pay the cost, and then I would flip it over, and I put it in the back. That gains me extra resources of that type. If I was instead, though, of the flip to do a rotate action, that yellow one there, it's going to change and do different resources. So the cards are going to have different options to flip, rotate, or store them throughout the game as you interact with them. So for this, I can't do this one. I can't do any of these. The only action I can afford is this free one. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. And I store it. It looks like that. Now I have a gear I can use on this card. But we can always interact with the top 2 cards of the deck. Now we see Shelly here. And Shelly is an expensive card. She's going to give us a lot of points later in the game. But for now, we can't really afford her. So we're going to take a look at this potion workshop. I could upgrade it one of 2 ways. Currently, I only have a gear. And whenever you see a slash here, it means or. So I could pay a brain or a gear or a potion. I do have a gear, so I might want to go into this. But I may want to save this card instead and save that gear for something later. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade it. This is going to give us a wild here, and I think early on in our deck that'd be good to have. So I'm going to pay this by rotating it, keeping its position in the deck, and then I have the resources I need in order to flip this over. So now I flip this over, and it goes in the back. All right, now Shelly is the top card here. I'm unlikely to be able to afford her. That's going to take a lot of resources. I might be able to do it later, even with a single card, because some of them get that powerful. But Shelly, for now, I might want to exercise another option I have with cards. So you can do their actions they have. You can flip them, store them, rotate them, but you can also discard them. You can only, though, discard the top card of your deck. You can never discard the second card in your deck. However, I can activate the second card of my deck, which is something I may want to do now because I have some resources coming up, and maybe I want to take this one and move it in front of Shelly, which is a good strategic move. I'm going to store this using that free action, and it goes in the back, and now I have a brain. Now, Shelly requires 2, and I got to debate. Do I want to keep on moving Shelly back in the deck, or what do I want to do with that? I'm going to actually go ahead and discard Shelly, and we're going to upgrade that brain later, and hopefully it will help us pay on a later round. All right, so now I am looking at the top 2 cards here of this deck. and I can't afford either one of those, so I am going to go ahead and just store this one. Now I'm building up some resources. All right, I have a monster workshop. I want to get more brains, and so I'm going to end up sticking a gear on that one. I'm going to rotate that in, and I can flip this over. So now this monster workshop becomes biomaterial, and so it has 2 brains on it and a victory point, and whenever I upgrade it, it's got to go to the back. All right, I can't afford either one of these, and don't get too discouraged when you can't do something. Just like when you see a board in another game, there's tons of actions you can't afford yet until you build up some resources, and that's where we're at with this. All right, same thing here, discard. Now I'm coming to another potion workshop. Do I want to go ahead and upgrade this one? I think I don't just yet. I'd like this one to become a potion, so I'm going to skip that. I do want to move this device workshop up, and I'm going to move this brain up, and that's going to actually let us use those brains later. And then I'm going to discard this one. Okay. Millicent Call is another point card. We're not going to be able to afford her just yet, so we're going to ditch that. Device generator. Not yet, but we can do this potion workshop, which I don't know if I want to invest in this one just yet. Maybe I do. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pay for it. So I pay for both of those. I can choose any of the 4 resources. You're limited to 4 resources sticking out of your deck there. I can choose which ones, because it's an important thing that if the card comes up to the front and I have to draw it as the first card, then it actually will immediately be discarded and go to the back. So you lose that resources, not only for the round it was stored, but also then for the next round. So you don't get to store it again, and you miss out on quite a bit. All right, I took this action though, so I've got to rotate it, and I'm going to send it to the back, and it's going to get us some potions for later in the game. All right, now I see Frankie. This is one of our minions. We're now at the end of the deck, and so we can no longer change the order. So I can't activate Frankie to pull it out. I can't even afford to do it anyway, so it's all right. But those can't change order. They got to stay where they're at. So let's take a look at what we got with them. So Frankie can't afford. It's got to go away. Baker I can afford, so I'm going to put that there. I could spend Baker on Igor, and that would buy me another round. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that just to show you how that works. I'm going to pay for this. And that's going to rotate this. And this has a special action that says, when upgraded to this, we store it. So we're going to store it here. And we see it says -1 on the danger meter. Okay, we're at the end, and this says production goal. We're going to upgrade it if we have all of those resources and we want to spend them. We don't have enough to pay for it. We were close, but we spent it on some other stuff. We can't upgrade this, so we must upgrade our danger meter. Okay, so how this works is these can apply in any order. So I could -1 the danger meter before I have to apply this, but in this case I actually want to apply it first. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it. It's going to go up, and then I'm going to spend this to make it go back down. And so now we bought ourselves an extra round. We're still on green, so we're not in too much danger. And now we're back at the beginning. We see the cards that we interacted with before now have changed a bit. And so I have a gear here. I can upgrade that monster and get it ready for later. But that's the core of how the game works. You're going to progress through until either the danger meter is exceeded at the red level or you complete your overall mission. And that is Palm Laboratory.